Regis, guys. How many of you remember the story of a man who has spent over 20 years in the UK that was recently deported back to Nigeria because his wife accused him of uh, allegedly said that she gave consent for the man for them to make love, but she did not give consent for the man to ejaculate inside of her. Yes, that story. Okay, good. So I was having a conversation with my friend about that story yesterday, and let me tell you guys what what my friend did, and what I think is going to be happening very soon. My friend said after he watched that video, he was in the bedroom, the wife was in the kitchen, and after he watched that video in the bedroom, that he suddenly by himself he went downstairs and met the wife and said, he said he knelt down and said to the wife, if at any point you are no longer interested in this marriage, I am not forcing you now to stay, and I will never force you at any point in time to stay. If at any point you are no longer interested in this marriage, please just tell me and we can peacefully go our separate ways. Because I would not be happy if you ruin my life for whatever reason. Now, this is the funny part. He told his wife, remember, I brought you to this country. And I'm not saying you are indebted to me because I brought this country and you can do anything and I can do I can, of course I've been a good husband to you, which you can attest. But I don't think changes. If at any point you feel like you have grown out of love with me, please just tell me and we can peacefully go our separate ways. Instead, the wife was just looking at him as if, what's this man saying? And then he said, look, you may not understand what I'm saying now, but he now showed her the video that he watched and said, instead of making false allegation against me and putting me in trouble for what I know nothing about, please, if at any point in time you are no longer interested in this marriage, you are no longer happy in this marriage, just tell me and we will peacefully go our separate ways. I promise you, there will be no problem. I will not resist you at all, resist you leaving me at all. Now, in the course of having this conversation, I also quickly something came to my mind about the guy who brought the lady to the UK. I don't know. I mean, if some of you heard about this story, I posted the video of the brother of the guy saying something about this recently, where the lady was still in contact with the ex-boyfriend and even got pregnant for another married man in Nigeria, proud to moving to the UK. I think they said the guy, the man, a week or so before the marriage. Now, this is what I think is going to happen. Recently there have been a lot of women, Nigerian women, and a lot of talks in social media that Nigerian men now don't go for Nigerian women in the UK. They go for the Zimbabwe, the Ghanaians, and the rest. This has been a kind of an ongoing debate or conversation or whatever. And a lot of people have come out to give their reasons why this is happening. But this is what I think is going to happen going for at some point, very very soon. You see, with what is happening right now, some men will start preemptively leaving their marriages. Now, stay with me. I will explain what I mean. Some men, listen to me what I'm saying now. Some men, and mark it down. Some men will start to preemptively to start leaving their marriage because they fear that something like this may happen to them. Not because their wives have shown any sign of violence, not because their wives have caused any problem to them, but because some men want to avoid trouble before the trouble comes. Because the funny thing is that humans are very unpredictable. Humans are very unpredictable. So someone who is very good, quiet, and calm today can become something else tomorrow. And the funny thing is that sometimes we don't see the signs until it happens. Because for that woman and that man to have made love, for the woman to have agreed to make love with the husband means they may not be having very obvious problems. The woman may have had her thoughts, her plans, but the man did not know, and that is why the man can quickly or can easily fall into that trap. You remember the other old lady that came out to cry about the husband removing her out of a COS, and as a result of which she was begging and asking people to help her. She doesn't want to go back to Nigeria. Did you hear the story the man came out to talk about? And the man said that he even had a sex toy in the house, which the woman knew. So at the point, because the man was trying to avoid certain things, because of what the woman have said, he bought a sex toy and he was now sleeping in the lounge while the wife was sleeping in the bedroom. Now, this is a man who already saw the signs. The woman was good enough, let me use that word, to have said it to the man's face, to have said certain things. Yeah, if you go to jail, they will give me this and stuff like that, which made the man to feel like, okay, this thing may be on its way. If I don't take time now or take steps now, this will likely happen. But not every woman will speak out and make you understand their plans. So a lot of men, what I think will start happening very soon is that a lot of men will, on their own, without obvious issues in their marriage, walk out of the marriage. They will prefer to be single, probably maybe have a girlfriend or something, than be in any marriage thing, any marriage. Why? Because some of them would, and that would be a preemptive step, not because they want to do that, but because they will just want to, they don't want to get to that point where everything they have built, where their entire life will be destroyed by a woman they call their wife, by a woman they have lived their life with, invested in, grown together with, have children with, or maybe planning the future with. Because sometimes you're planning and someone else maybe have their own plans. So a lot of these things have been happening over time, and we have been seeing these stories. And one thing that is now very clear is that some men are beginning to leave their. Some men are now beginning to prefer other women. Some are preferring white women. Some are preferring people from other African countries that kind of they don't have this high record of most of this thing. Because if you look at most of these things that are happening in the UK, for example, these are reporting the husband, reporting the husband. Mostly these things are done by Nigerian women, and because it's very rampant among the Nigerian community, a lot of Nigerian men who are trying to avoid these things are preferring to go for Zimbabwe, Sierra Leonean, Kenyan women, and other countries. You understand? And our Nigerian sisters are finding it disturbing. They're not seeing the problem the men are trying to avoid, but they are seeing the actions as, I don't know if they say unpatriotic or I don't know what they class it to be. But the thing is, beyond this, even the men who are already in marriages and relationship with Nigerian women will at some point. I'm saying this, write it down. It's not a prophecy. I'm not saying it's a prophecy, but it's the handwriting that is clearly on the wall. A lot of these men will start walking out of those relationships and out of those marriages to try to protect themselves, to try to safeguard whatever they have managed to build. Because I haven't stayed in the UK for, like that man that they said has been deported. Imagine you're staying in the UK for 10, 20, 10, 15, 20 years. You have built your life here. And some of these people, because of the way they try to manage themselves or do certain things, they don't go home very often. So they don't have friends anymore back home. They don't have, even if they have family members, they may not be that very close to those family members anymore. And now they are being uprooted out of where they have built their life and sent back home to go and start from scratch. No man will want to find themselves in that position. So a lot of people, a lot of men will be taking preemptive steps now. It's going to happen very soon. Trust me. I know it's going to happen. I know it. Not because someone has told me they're going to do it, but I feel it in my spirit that's going to happen. Some men who are really involved in marriages and relationships with some of our Nigerian sisters in the UK and maybe some part of the other country would be start to either work, either separate themselves from that marriage or outrightly divorce and in the marriage just to protect themselves and things like this. So, our Nigerian sisters, you can do better. I'm not saying all Nigerian men are perfect. We are not perfect. I am not perfect. But we can do better than what you guys can do better than what you are doing right now because it's going to get worse. Now we are saying that Nigerian men are not following Nigerian women. But imagine those who already have Nigerian women in their lives walking away from those relationships or from those unions because of what the fear may happen if you don't do that. So we can do better. You guys can do better. Honestly, you guys can do better. Don't want to share this because of the conversation I have with my friend and what he said he did. I found it crazy, but I think it's a good idea, it's a good thing to do. Maybe I should also do it myself as well, because hey, I beg when you're tired, if you think you're tired and you think you cannot do it anymore, just go. Just say it. Look, I don't want it anymore. Okay, And knowing where we are, it will be foolish of any man to want to keep any woman that does not want to stay in his life anymore. That is just the truth. Thank you very much for watching. Share it in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think this will likely happen? Or do you think it's not the fault of the women, the Nigerian women, or the Nigerian sisters, that the men are going for other ladies instead of them? Share it in the comment section, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.